Here tomorrow. I have an appointment. Oh.
Okay, no problem.
Oops.
Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to IBM TV's coverage of the Olympics. Good to have you here this morning. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So, Ada, what's going on? Give us a report.
Top sports. Everyone's still a little bit reeling from what happened to Miss Simone Biles and her getting out of the competition due to mental health issues. But everything seems to be fine. We have there's some stories about Fabio Fognini for Spain. He blames heat for yelling homophobic slurs at another component at the Olympics. It sounds like an excuse to me, but people still do bad things. And also, the Tokyo Olympics coverage spurs advertiser anxiety as viewership continues to drop. As like this should be the lowest viewer count of the Olympics ever. So that is also very concerning for NBC networks and their partners. You're on mute.
By the way, being on mute's the best thing for me. You get to know me after a while. But yeah, the viewership dropping is a bad thing for ratings. But I actually did get to see some swimming yesterday. But before we get to that, a shout out to the Philippines and Bermuda. Philippines because they won their first gold medal in 97 years. That's called patience. Yeah. So Ada, how would you like to say? Well, you're going to get a gold medal 97 years from now.
Well, I would teach my grandkids how to play sports so they can keep it in the family. But definitely big congratulations to the Philippines. They won it in weightlifting, and it was a very good weightlifting champ. They competed against number one China for women's, I think, 76 kilograms weightlifting competition, finished with a clean, and it was amazing to watch. And she was very excited and very enthusiastic about winning the gold medal for her country. So very much big ups to her, and like we're very proud of her and her country.
Yeah. So the thing is, we have two countries, Philippines and Bermuda, that are celebrating wins and medals at the Olympics. And then swimming yesterday, I did get to watch Fink player and a couple of the swimmers, the USA swimmer. I think it was 800-meter freestyle. And of course, the USA was losing. The Italian was winning. The Italian was the world champion. Italian was destined to win. The US guy wasn't even in fourth, was like in fifth place. I mean, seriously, way, way behind. And so I was going, well, the USA can forget the medal here.
Yeah.
And then came the last lap. Okay. And for some reason, the last lap. I had the last laugh on the last lap. And for some reason, he was able to put some afterburners on, which no one saw coming, including the first place Italian world champion, and the USA ended up winning. So my question, since I know you do a lot of sports competition as a champion volleyball player, what is this last minute? Because I saw the volleyball team do the same thing. What's this? Hey, we're even, the USA does. And then we win at the last minute. What's going on here?
Well, it's more, some people say it's luck. Some people say it's experience. I say it's a mix of both, and it's a mix of will as well. So, as an athlete that you are in for the long run. You can't just win a game by making one kill, one block, one set. Like, you can't just win a game by making one move. It has to be a culmination of all your moves to get a win. And at that last minute, when you pull it all together and maybe you put a little extra into it or save, conserve your energy so you can put a little extra into it, that's what wins games. And that's exactly what we saw for swimming.
Yeah. Now, are you at Cameron Indoor Stadium again, the temple of the
Um,
Duke University? Is that where you're
yes,
beaming from?
yes, I am speaking from
Okay,
inside Cameron at
Cameron Indoor
the
Stadium. Well,
Duke volleyball.
since you're in the temple of the gods of basketball, I don't know how you get into that place, but I guess you do. We're going to talk about the basketball team, especially the men's 3-on-3, where
Mm.
of course we believe we dominate, but it looks like Latvia wins the gold. Is that what happened?
Yes, that was crazy, and a lot of people are kind of wondering what happened. Really, the U.S. wasn't even in the top three when it came to
Really?
men. It was Latvia, Russia, Serbia getting the bronze, and Belgium getting fourth. I mean, it. What can you say? I mean,
We don't have three good players. What about LeBron? Is he any good anymore? Is he?
I mean, he is, but I mean,
He can't
LeBron.
play 3-on-3.
Yeah, he's focusing on the main 6-on-6 basketball full court. But we do have to say big ups to the women's who did win gold against Russia 18-15, and China came in third ahead of France
Okay.
16-15.
All right. So our women are good, which is typical in the U.S., and our men are bad.
Typical.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I got that
nothing
theme
new.
right now. Nothing new. Okay. So we'll move on. We'll move on to the gymnastics team. Okay. So what's happening in gymnastics? What are we looking at today?
I mean, like I already said, like we have Simone Biles obviously coming out, which is a sad sight for everyone to see. But we know that she's not only pushing forward for her team, but for the U.S. and she's doing a great job, and we all applaud her. As of right now, live, the women's artistic individual all rounds is happening, and the leader right now is Japan with Murakami leading the pack, and for the medal tally for gymnastics, it looks like the Russian Olympic Committee is leading with 2 golds already, 1 silver and 1 bronze, followed by Japan and China, with the U.S. actually coming in as 4th place in the medal tally with 1 silver in gymnastics.
Okay, yeah, and Simone Biles pulling out is kind of a big thing, but of all the events that I would pull out of if I had a little doubt, it would be gymnastics because what they do is really dangerous. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, I can understand volleyball, but let's face it, unless something weird happens, you're not going to jump up, turn around, and land and potentially land on your neck and break your neck more. Okay, but unfortunately, right? Okay, so if you and also if you had a little mental breakdown, in other words, you're just upset with yourself, you got a bunch of teammates around you. Gymnastics, that could, maybe they'll do the kill, okay, because your kill ain't working today for whatever reason. Okay, but in gymnastics, it's a whole different thing. I mean, I looked at a lot of what they did, and I'm going, it's a good thing they land on their feet, okay, and even so, it's got to be really hard on your body to jump that high and then land bang like that. It's a potentially, it's just like cheerleading, even though I know that's going to be a sport in a couple of years from now. It is really a dangerous sport. I mean, you better catch these people when they go up 3 stories. Otherwise, it's really bad. So I can see her pulling out. Is she going to compete in any events? She said that maybe she'll do some individuals, but I guess she's out completely, right?
I mean, she might be competing in the individuals. I mean, as of right now, these live stats, it doesn't look like she is. It looks like we have Sue Lee competing for the United States. I mean, she's doing great as well. She's currently in 7th place, behind China, Germany, Hungary, Great Britain, Belgium. And as I said before, Japan is leading in the individual all round for gymnastics. But as we see in gymnastics, I mean, things change. Things could change rapidly. Somebody could make a slight trip up on the floor. So it's all dependent on the judges right now. But according to points, Japan is in the lead.
Okay. All right. So we'll go back to talking about the swimming teams that we looked at earlier, and in swimming, the thing is, we have some new gold men winners, and also the women's team seems to be doing pretty good. Do we have any updates on the swimming team other than I had actually a chance to watch, and I thought absolutely amazing to see the comeback of the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, we are just killing it in the swimming. I think personally, like with the men's 100-meter freestyle, we won gold. We did win silver with the women's 200-meter 4x200-meter freestyle rally. We won gold in the men's 800 freestyle yesterday, silver with the women's 200-meter butterfly, first place with the men's 100-meter butterfly, first place with Katie Ledecky today taking the women's 100-meter freestyle. And I mean, we're just dominating when it comes to the top of the charts. So, like, we're either coming in first or second. It'd be that 100 women's freestyle, men's 200 individual medley. Like, we're doing a great job when it comes to swimming, and we're currently leading in the medal tally when it comes to swimming as well.
That's good. Okay, now comes the nightmare from Elm Street. Okay, and when this is affecting the Olympics, and let's bring it up there, COVID-19. Okay, what is the effect that we're seeing on COVID-19 right now? There was some of the athletes were tested positive. They have some people are in quarantine. Some that we saw in golf, like John Rahm, top golfer in the world, had to drop out because of testing now twice positive for COVID-19. And let's just face it, COVID-19 has affected even Simone Biles because she didn't have her support group with her. She didn't have her cheerleading squad. She didn't have her, nobody's there for her. So, and it's affected the ratings, and it's affected the, look at the stands. It's empty.
Morale, yeah.
It's empty. So what are we looking at the effect of COVID-19 on this Olympics?
I mean, to be honest, COVID-19 actually just hit another record high for Tokyo in the third day in the row. As the Olympics continue, we have another athlete who got kicked out actually 7 hours ago. Sam Kendricks, a pole vaulter for USA, got kicked out for a positive COVID test. He may also potentially send 3 Australian fellow pole vaulters home because of his positive COVID case. And we're just seeing COVID-19 cases reaching a new high in the Olympic Village, not only affecting athletes, but affecting the workers, affecting the few spectators that are there. And it's just, it's tragic. And it really puts a damper on things. Now, especially now with the new Delta variant, we now probably have to go back to being masked in a lot of places, even though many people are vaccinated. But yeah, I mean, we do have some miracles. There's a swimmer, Tom Dean, for the UK, who beat COVID twice and now won the gold for the UK in the Olympics for men's swim. So that's one bright spot in this very dark narrative. But Tokyo is struggling right now, and they're just trying to get this virus a hold and keep the games on.
Yeah, well, it looks like you have the Olympics, you have the Paralympics, and you have the Pandemic Olympics. And it looks like we have the Pandemic Olympics. So it's been a big struggle for people around the world right now. So now we're going to talk about the medal. Okay, gold. Okay, we have gold medals, and the thing is, everybody wants to win the gold medal. But now I hear that the gold medal is made of silver. Predominantly silver. So what are your thoughts of when somebody wins a gold medal and they find out it's not pure gold, it's mainly silver? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it is not surprising. I mean, we've seen it before in other games. We've seen how the medals will not be 100% pure gold, 100% pure silver, 100% pure bronze. There'll be a mix of metals, or even I think one year they did like a recyclable material inside the medals. It's difficult. Like the amount of athletes, even though it is rare to get a gold, there are still many athletes getting gold, especially if you look at a sports like swim with so many events and so many opportunities to get a gold. That's a lot of gold medals. And a lot of countries do not have a surplus amount of gold, unless we're talking about places like India or the US, for instance, to have gold reserves. But yeah, I'm not surprised. And they're just trying to cut costs wherever they can.
Okay, yeah. And what about Nigeria? How is the team in Nigeria doing right now?
I mean, we're putting up a good fight. I will say that.
I mean, they did good in basketball the other day against the United States. I thought they were impressive. They were actually leading the first quarter. And then, of course, unfortunately, there are 3 more quarters. And you see that a lot in sports. In other words, there are 2 teams playing, and then the first quarter of the first half, they seem very even. And then by the time we get to the fourth quarter, you can see the teams aren't even. There's this big spread. So is Nigeria, are they pulling any medals in, or how are they doing
I
in terms of
mean,
that?
for basketball, for basketball in itself, we did lose. The last game we did play was against Germany, which we lost to on July 27th. Um, and it's sad to see, but it is what it is. We do have hope again in the women's. They're playing tomorrow against France at 4:20 a.m. Eastern Standard
Oh,
Time. So
France.
we will see if they will pull through. And I mean, we are doing well in other sports. We did win in the women's 100-meter freestyle in Heat 1. We got first place. Ogubanwo, she got first place, and so we're holding our own. We're holding our own. We are competing in other sports like table tennis, badminton, and we're doing very well in rowing as well. But we will see what the end of this game holds.
Okay, another team near and dear to my heart that we're going to take a look at, and I guess this is the only thing that you could actually see in the Olympics, and is the team called the Refugee Team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the reason it's near and dear to my heart is that if you have to think about how hard it is that you're displaced from another country. In other words, most people don't go through that refugee experience, and it's just like when people come to the border of the United States. I don't think a lot of people had the I'm desperate experience. And of course, what we do in the United States, we just shut our borders up and say, go home. I don't know if you ever saw there's a movie called The Wizard of Oz, right? And poor Dorothy, okay, she goes up and knocks on the door, oh, I need to see the wizard. Well, you can't go see the wizard. Go home. In other words, they told him to go home, which obviously Dorothy didn't feel too good about that. And that seems to be the U.S. attitude on the southern border. Oh, you need food? You're desperate? Go home. Okay. So the thing is, the refugee team, okay, do we have any stats on the refugee team? Is there any medals that they've won, or are they just participating and just...
Unfortunately, there hasn't been any medals for the refugee team so far. They have been participating or will be participating in many events starting tomorrow, day 7. And day 7 also is a start of track and field, or athletics as it is named in this Olympics. So they will be competing in the women's 100-meter race, also competing in the men's 50-meter freestyle for swimming. They put up a good fight against judo against Germany, but they do have not won any medals of yet. But there's still hope, and we're still pushing for them, and they are a very good sign for everyone across the world to see that even if your country is going in war, is a war-torn country, you can still represent them and compete for them.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good that they actually do allow, because the thing is, you basically don't have a country, and you want to compete. They do have a team called the Refugee Team, and that you could actually compete with that. Now we'll go to your favorite sport. I gotta hit this one because you do this a lot. I had to save this one for the last. Let's go to it. It's called the volleyball teams. How are we doing in the volleyball teams?
We are doing well. Actually, the game right now that is live is the United States against Turkey. Right now, set 1, it's 0-0. And live stats, it's 5-2 with the U.S. leading against Turkey. And I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it as soon as we get off this game, and I'm excited to see that game. Turkey also beat China as well as the United States, and so they are the top 2 contenders for their pool. So that it should be very interesting to watch. And in other news as well, the United States men is going to be facing off Brazil 10:05 p.m. Eastern time today. So that would also be a good game to watch.
Okay, the U.S. is playing Brazil. Is that men's or women's?
Men's.
Okay, men's. So what's going on right now in terms of volleyball that you're watching?
Yeah, right now, I mean, they're set 1, 5-2 with the U.S. leading against Turkey, and we will see how that goes, because that will be the end of the preliminary rounds, and then we will go into quarterfinals. So I'm excited to see about that.
You mean you have to go through preliminaries, then quarterfinals? I mean, they make you they make you work that hard to win this crazy thing. Exactly. I thought we beat the Chinese, we should be given the gold medal, and that's can't we just have the U.S. play China? We win and give us the gold medal.
I
You
wish
know,
it was that easy, but there's also people like Russia, Brazil, and Serbia who have all won in their respective pool play who will be competing in the quarterfinals. Who
wow.
people that we need to beat before we even touch the gold. So,
Okay, so the women still have a ways to go. They're
a
just doing
ways
the
to go.
preliminary rounds. Then they got to go through quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. This is a big trip. But can't you get injured? I watched them play. Okay, I mean, and you play, for the Duke volleyball team. And they jump really high to block. They jump
Yeah.
really high. Well, the problem when you jump high, because like I said, I used to play basketball, is you can come down wrong on your leg and sprain your leg. And I've done
Yep.
that before. And I
Many
hate to say it, after that, you can't play anymore. Does that happen also in volleyball? Players get injured?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It happens all the time. Like, it is standard for most volleyball players to wear hard ankle braces, like very thick, very hard ankle braces. Even me, when I played volleyball when I was younger, so about 4 years ago, I had an ankle injury where I tore four ligaments
Mhm.
with an ankle brace on, and so it. There's a multitude of injuries. There's wrist injuries, there's ACL, there's shoulder injuries, knee injuries. I mean, I have a rare injury myself. I have oblique tears, which is as it sounds, it's terrible, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that come with volleyball, and yeah, you really have to love the game, which I do.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you really have to. Plus they jump on the floor to try to get to stop the ball, and I'm going like this.
Exactly.
A lot of work. I mean, they're sacrificing their body just to hit the ball up in the air and hope that their teammates hit it over or hit it up again, and that they can hit it over. So I was going like, this to me, it's safer to play basketball than to play volleyball.
I
Would you
mean,
would you agree? I mean, I don't know if you played basketball.
I did. I played it for how many years? About
Yeah.
like 9 years before I started volleyball. But the thing with basketball is like other people can hurt you. Most of the time you're just gonna hurt yourself with volleyball.
Oh, that's
Most,
true.
so the only person you really have to
You
be.
don't like that elbow in the gut from
I
somebody that
That's
happens
why
to
I
play that
quit
way.
basketball. I was a
I got those.
little too aggressive.
Right.
And so I played volleyball so I could just take my aggression out on the ball.
Oh, okay. So you were the one who was given the elbow in the gut
Only
in
if they deserved
basketball.
it.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden, get out of the way. Boom.
Elbow. I mean, girls are vicious. They would sharpen their nails. They'll pull your hair. They'll take your knees out when the ref's not
Just
looking.
hold that thought just a minute. Okay, I want to give the viewers an inside scoop. You're going to hear the real truth of how college sports work in just a minute. Okay, we'll be back. All right. So talk to me again about this.
This is not how college
Hopefully
sports
the
work.
NCAA isn't listening to this.
This is not. This is how it worked when I played AAU basketball when I was in middle school going into high school. There were some vicious girls, and you don't in NCAA. Thankfully, you have cameras, you have other people watching, you have multiple refs. But in AAU, when you have a big gym filled with a bunch of people, and you only have one or two refs monitoring your court, they're not monitoring you because you don't have the ball. Yeah, things can go down. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, yeah. Well, the thing is, I played at the YMCA. Now, after a while, you start playing with the same players again, and everybody knows each other, so you're not going to give them a gut check. But every now and then, when we played in these teams, played other teams, it was like, "Rump," and I was going like, "Really? That's a
it makes
foul."
a victory a lot sweeter.
Yeah, you have judges do that. Now the biggest story of the Olympics, and of course today that we're seeing, and we're going to bring it back, is that Simone Biles pulls out of the Olympics, and it looks like from what we've seen that she's not going to be coming back. Would that be correct?
Yeah, it looks like she's not going to be coming back. We did have hope that she would be coming back in the individual all rounds, but it looks like Lee is going to take the first rotation. One rotation left in the all round finals, representing the United States. And I mean, I think Simone said it herself perfectly. She says it's the twisties and like the feeling that you get in your gut that translates into your mind, and it's how fear affects not only your mental health but your physical safety, not only for gymnasts but for athletes all around the world. We see Michael Phelps coming to Simone's
Mhm.
not only aid but coming to, relating to her. We see over the years we saw how Michael Phelps was a very good advocate for mental health and athletes especially, and competing at this level he knows, and we know now that it is not something to take lightly,
Mhm.
and we should do nothing but support her.
Yeah, and the thing is, see, I thought it was good that Michael Phelps became a, well, he was just on TV for a while, but he was actually pretty good. He should be commentator. He's really good in front of a camera, and I think a lot of these people, what they should do is morph into the media. But the media is also, since I've been doing this for a little while, it can be very, how do you say, makes aggressive volleyball look like a nice place to visit. But you'll see that after a while. Okay, so professional
Like,
volleyball. This is commentator Amelia McDonald, which you probably know. Do you know her? Anyway, because professional volleyball is an aggressive, very aggressive sport.
it is.
Would you agree with that comment? Oh, by the way, this is something that we have on the IBM TV network. Now, most of our viewers will see this recorded. We've already done the stats. The vast majority will do that. But if they actually come to the live presentation, and I told our producers, you got to tell people this. If you're on a live presentation and you're registered, you can actually put comments in. And we've had a lot of comments, not just on this show, but a lot of shows. Once the viewers figure out, they can comment on the show. Okay. And then all you have to do is go to the comment thing, you press it down, you got it. And this comment I thought was pretty good. As a professional volleyball is aggressive, very aggressive sport. So would you agree with that comment from the commentator?
Yes and no. I think volleyball in general is a very aggressive sport. Yes, you can say that depending on your skill level, it gets the aggressiveness, the intensity, and the speed of the game goes up a lot more. But once you get to D1 college level, everything up and above that is technically, if you're not careful, you will get a concussion. So
Really?
yes,
How do you get a concussion? You turn
we are hitting
your head away from the ball and it hits you in the back of the head. Is that what goes on?
we're hitting the ball at an average 80 miles per hour. We're hitting for our hits, and then I don't even want to know what serves clock in at. But put your head in front of a ball, your brains will get scrambled. And my brains have been scrambled a lot.
See, this is all news to me. Ada, have you ever got a concussion, or does
Oh, about
you
three.
have
About
from
three.
volleyball?
Oh yeah, about
Okay,
three of them, and I'm trying not to get any more because I don't want to medically retire. No offense to
I
football.
had no idea. So
No.
now I'm looking at baseball being, I mean, basketball actually being a more safer sport for you, because the thing is, even though you may get a gut hit or an ankle sprain, the odds of getting concussion are really pretty bad at playing basketball. So have you thought of your new career playing basketball for Duke?
I mean, if they would take me, but I mean, actually, Duke women's basketball has a whole revamping. We have a new coach who actually came from the Boston Celtics, and we have a lot of new players, international, local, and across the nation. And so I'm very excited to see our upcoming season and what she brings to the table. So,
Okay. Just another question. I hate to bore the viewers with this,
no
but I used
worries.
to play a lot of ball also with college students that played on basketball teams. Okay, and some of them, if they were active playing basketball, the rules would prevent them from playing pickup ball. In other words, they couldn't play with our group. Does that rule still exist? Like you're playing volleyball for Duke, but if I said, "Hey Ada, I got a group of people that want to play some volleyball. Can you come down to Briar Creek and play some volleyball with us?" Would your response be, "I can't do it because I play for the Duke volleyball team and my rules prevent me from playing pickup games like that"?
Yeah.
Does that rule still exist?
I mean, I feel like a yes and no, in the sense of most active players will say no because the risk of getting hurt is, if you think about it, if the risk of getting hurt is a little higher because you're playing with people who are not only not as experienced as you, but And so that makes your risk level higher. And then you might be lazy, or you might not be wearing the correct gear. And so you could potentially hurt yourself more in the process of playing a pickup game than in the process of a real game. So I feel like that's the only sense of logic that comes from it.
Yeah.
And it's not a rule, but it's a rule,
Yeah,
like
right. No, I understand. But I think the only hurt is you would hurt their egos as you do kills on these people, and they go, "Where'd you come from?" Because they're pretty bad.
You might get too ahead of yourself and hurt yourself.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's just
And anyway, I was just curious because I did have that problem. I usually played with college players that had already left college. In other words, they graduated, they used to play college ball, and they were gone. But the ones that came in that were active, every now and then I could get one to play, but some of them said no, I can't because I'm playing for some university and I can't play. So I was just curious if that existed in volleyball too as well, because it's always good to go play with a ringer. And there was a whole movies made on that. You just want, when you go play any sports, my belief is take the ringer with you and you have a better chance of winning. But that's my thing. Anyway, that's our report for the Olympics today. Tomorrow, Ada unfortunately won't be here, so we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. But we do want to thank our audience around the world for tuning in to IBM TV at the Olympics, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.